uMnisi, are you fit to proceed?
As it please the court, my lord, thank you for the indulgence. I'm feeling much better.
Okay.
Thank you. As it please the court, my lord. Yesterday, I referred to a number of statements, my lord. I think some of which were already handed in as exhibits, particularly the one that I referred to of Ms. Zandi Kumalo. Now, the one that I referred to as statement number A113, the one that was penned by Longetwala, I did not request, my lord, that it be handed in as an exhibit, as well as the one that is numbered A57. It also slipped my mind that I should request that it be handed in an exhibit. May I, therefore, with the leave of court, my lord, request that both statements be handed in as exhibits. The last statement, my lord, that I requested that it be handed in, I think it was Makumalo's statement, and it was marked V. Now, the first statement of Mr. Longetwala, marked A113, I'm going to request that it should be marked, I don't know whether we're following VVX, then we're going to mark it as XXX.
W, I think that will be W1. There's also the statement A9. I don't know whether it's not being headed up of long way.
Yes, my lords. A9 as well, yes. Let's start with A9. Oh, okay. W1. A9, my lord, will then be marked W1, and then A11. Okay, let's go to A51. A57. 57 be marked as W2. And A113 be marked W in brackets 3, my lord. No, 106, it's I think it's a duplication of 113. Thank you, my lord. Please the court, my lord. Because yesterday, good morning.
Good morning, Advocate Minister.
Thank you. Before we adjourned, there was a question that I posed, and the court wanted to clarify whether do I then request that you give an opinion in that regard. The question.
Lapho enkantolo eveze ukuthi mina ngicela ukuthi ulibeke umbono wakho ngalokho.
Let me quickly go back to the question just to check your mind. The question was to the following effect.
Nawuke umbuzo wami.
Now, in view of, I actually wanted to know what would then be the relevance of your testimony in saying that actually in bringing that kind of testimony before court, where you said that there were pictures that were found in the downloads of accused number 3's phone, as well as Longwe Twala's phone and Kelly's phone. So, gist of my question was, what was the relevance of that testimony of yours? That is-
lobufakazi babumelana nani lobufakazi bokuthi-ke unathola izithombe efonini kamsolwa nefonini kalongwe nefoni kaKelly Khumalo
similar pictures.
iy'thombe ezifananayo.
Yes.
My lord, as the statement indicates, it was to show the linkages. You know that there's linkages, or rather similar pictures as Advocate uMnisi says. That was the essence of it.
Cha ukuthi befuna ukukhombisa ukuthi khona ukuxhumana nokuthi khona iy'thombe ezingathi ziyafanana.
Now, are you then saying there could have been a leakage just simply because on the similarity of those photos? You're then saying that there could have been a linkage between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3 and Longwe Twala, and there was also a linkage between Longwe Twala, Kelly Khumalo, and accused number 3. Is that what you're saying?
Manje kusho ukuthi kukhona yini ngaloko ukuthi khona iy'thombe engathi ziyafanana uchaza ukuthi kusho ukuthi khona ukuxhumana phakathi kaMsolwa wesithathu noLongwe Twala noKelly Khumalo.
My lord, the court will recall that I said this was guided by the expert. This is now Colonel Steyn, who informed me and then thereafter then showed me such in his affidavit. So I was moving in that precinct. He's the expert in this area, and that's what he established and then communicated to me, which then I utilized in my investigation when I applied for the warrants. I think it appears in a number of statements, such linkages, my lord.
Lokho ke phela sasiholwa uColonel Steyn uchwepheshe oyena-ke owayengisiza-ke ilokho kwagcina-ke kusisizile ukuthi sifune nokukhipha namawaranti kwakuyena owawuchwepheshe ngalokho.
Thank you. That being the case, as an investigating officer, would you then say, that that information that you got from Colonel Steyn as you analyze the evidence, that evidence indicates, therefore, that accused number 3 was complicit in the commission of these offenses that is facing today?
Manje usho ukuthi lokho kuthole uColonel Steyn ikona kwaholela ukuthi uMsolwa wesithathu yathinteka kuleli cala.
No, what I think, my lord, indicates the suspicion of the involvement of accused 3 is the issues that I've dealt with. I've indicated, my lord, the issues of the firearm, the issues of the dreadlocks, the issue of the clothing, without repeating. These related really to linkages, my lord. Because the court will recall, my lord, after the statement of these accused 1 and 2 were obtained, where, and I've said this, my lord, Ms. Kelly Khumalo was identified as a trigger point. One needed to investigate the linkages, whether you can confirm, you can corroborate what is being said by objective evidence. So this is one of the pieces of evidence that we found in terms of this bag of money that is appearing between her and accused number 3, my lord.
Lezi thombe lezi njengoba besengichazile bezichaza ukuthi uMsolwa wesithathu yena ukhulumana kanjani nalabanye ngoba bengitshela ukukhuluma kebo kubonakala ukuthi uyena wasusa yonke lento. Manje ukusho ukuthi besifuna ukuzama ukukhombisa ukuthi baqhumana kanjani nalabo abanye noMsolwa wesithathu.
So do I then understand you to say that despite those pictures being found in Kelly Khumalo's phone, similar pictures being found in Kelly Khumalo's phone, accused number 3's phone, and Longwe Twala's phone, that was just for purposes of investigation?
Manje usho ukuthi-ke utholakala lezi thombe efonini kaMsolwa wesithathu efonini kaKelly Khumalo nekalongwe Twala bekudingeka nje ukuthi nikwazi ukuphenya.
My lord, investigation, as I've said yesterday, is a systematic way of finding the truth. That's what I was busy with at that stage, and that's what we found. And so are other things that we discovered. So it was discovered during the investigation process. And the interest that sparked that desire or that interest to pursue that investigation was triggered by the confessions which were made by accused 1 and 2, where Ms. Khumalo was then mentioned. Now, when her name is being mentioned, and it seems to be indicating that there is a communication between Ms. Khumalo and the perpetrators, as I've said, my lord, you need to corroborate that evidence, and that is where now the search embarked on, and these discoveries were then discovered, my lord. So it was not just an exercise that had no direction. It was to collaborate and find evidence if indeed it does exist.
Njengoba sengishilo uphenya indlela ehlelekile yokuzama ukuthola ulwazi oluthize. Futhi-ke ukutholakala kwalezi thombe kwalezi zinto lezi kusuka lapha ekutheni sathi kwaphuma phela ukwamukela icala ngomsolwa weqala nowesibili. Manje fanele sihlole ukuthi lokhu kusiholaphi ngoba ekwamukeleni kwabe icala baniveza igama likaKelly Khumalo. Manje sifanele sitholisise kahle ukuthi manje uKelly Khumalo uxhumana kanjani noMsolwa wesithathu. Yikho-ke manje bese sifuna ukuthi siveze sithole izinto ezisizayo ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sibekise kahle ukuthi baxhumana kanjani.
Now, let me put it this way, sir. In view of your explanation now, did you ever find a link between accused number 3 and Longethwala in view of those photos?
Manje lezi ithombe zange ngisiza yini ukuthi nikwazi ukubona ukuthi baxhumana kanjani umsolo wesithathu noLongethwala?
My Lord, as I've explained, the linkages, the investigation of cell phones was led by Kenneth Steyn. And according to his report and what he told me when I said the report, is that there was a linkages between the three in terms of these photos. This is Longethwala, accused 3, and Ms. kwelikaMeyiwa. That's what was communicated to me, my Lord.
Manje njengoba bese ngishilo ke uKenneth Steyn uyena ke ucwepheshe okahlaziya konke lokho abakuphuma lapha emafonini. Uyena okwazi ukuthi agcine esizele ukuthi sibone ukuthi khona ukuxhumana phakathi umsolo wesithathu noLongethwala nokwelikaMeyiwa.
Thank you. Colonel Steyn came and testified here, but according to you, he told you that as a result of similar photos being found in the cell phone gadgets of these 3 people, then that proves linkage. Did he tell you how did that linkage happen? How except for the phones being found in their cell phones, similar photos being found in their cell phones, how did this linkage happen?
Manje uKenneth Steyn wangichazela ukuthi ngaphandle kwalezi ithombe ezatholakala emafonini abo ezifanayo wangichazela ukuthi lokuxhumana kwakwenzeka kanjani.
No, my Lord. He's an expert in his field. It's the same as you when you get a report from a ballistic expert. If he says there's a link, I can't say he must show me all the margins because I'm not an expert. Same with the fingerprint expert. You look for the results of their findings. So Kenneth Steyn explained to me that there's a link and it is included in his statement and I couldn't take it further than that. I don't think, my Lord, I had even expertise to actually ask him to take me through the details of it, my Lord.
Cha uKenneth Steyn uyena ucwepheshe nanoma esinikele umbiko kodwa ke akosho ukuthi umembikele kufanele ngibuze konke ngalombiko wakho ukuthi lokhu nalokhu kuhlangana kanjani. Mina ngithathe nje lokho ayengibikela kona ukuthi kukhona ukuxhumana. Kuyafana nokuthi owuchwepheshe ngokuhlola inhlamvu zebhama ngimbuza uma senginika umbiko ukuthi manje lo mugqa lona usho ukuthini lo mugqa lona usho ukuthini. Unginika nje umbiko uzokwazi ukuthi ungisize emsebenzini wami. So ke abengadingi ukuthi angitshele konke lokho anginike kona ukuthi kukhona ukuxhumana bekulingene.
So I'm simply saying, my Lord, I think Kenneth Steyn, he'll be in a better position to explain those links because he's an expert, my Lord.
Engishoyo ukuthi uKenneth Steyn uyena ongaba ngcono ukuthi alethe incazelo engcono ethe ukuthi xaxa kancane ngoba uyena uchwepheshe kulokho.
I recall that there was a point where you were requested by the court to read into record Colonel Steyn's affidavit. That was subsequent to me asking you, actually that was subsequent to you having said that Colonel Steyn told you that there was a link between accused number 3 and kwelikaMeyiwa. Then I think I then objected. I'm just trying to give a background of that situation. I then objected, but then the court, in his discretion, then requested you to go to that specific aspect of the affidavit where Colonel Steyn says that there's a linkage between accused number 3 and kwelikaMeyiwa. Do you still remember that scenario?
Sakhumbula yena ukuthi wacela ukuthi ufunde i-affidavit kaKenneth Steyn echaza ukuthi kukhona ukuxhumana phakathi umsolo wesithathu nokwelikaMeyiwa. Inkantolo ke yagcina ke isithe hamba uye lapho lapho ubhalwe khona la kubonakala khona ukuthi ubhale echaza ukuthi kukhona lokuxhumana phakathi kwalabo ababili.
I do recall, my Lord.
Yebo ngiyakhumbula.
Thank you. Now, the gist of that scenario was that you had mentioned that there was a communication between kwelikaMeyiwa and accused number 3, and that was on record. I just not so sure whether I brought that to court. Let me just read it. May I be afforded an indulgence, but just to quickly look at that. Thank you. Yes. On the 8th of November 2024, when you were being cross-examined by Mr. Ramusipili. It wasn't a cross-examination of Mr. Ramusipili. This is what you said. I'm going to start to read from page 68. The transcribed record of the 8th of November 2024. I'm reading it from line 20, page 68. From line 20, page 68. This is what is happening. A question that came from Mr. Ramusipili, otherwise advocates evidence. Then the court comes in and says, wait, I do not understand. You are asking a question. You are obliged to answer the question pertaining to your investigation. And then Mr. uGininda, that's now yourself, yes, my lord. Then the court said, that is it, as you conducted it, so that the court can appreciate too. You cannot tell me that you disclose this piece of evidence, but you not disclose this piece of evidence. What should I do about the rest of your evidence then? Then yourself, being Mr. uGininda, then respond. You say, I understand, my lord. My lord. So the other aspect that I did not touch on is that there is the report that I got, and it is contained in one of Colonel Steyn's statements. There's a link between, let me say, communication between Ms. Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3. In a nutshell, I just do not know how Colonel Steyn phrased it, but he established a link between accused 3 and Kelly Khumalo other than accused number 5. Then, Mr. Ramusipili, let us go to, sorry, and then myself, as it pleases the court, my lord, yeah. This is not an objection. That's now me saying that. This is not an objection, man. It is just a clarification. So the information relate, I need to understand it correct. So what Brigadier uGininda is saying there, the further information that is not disclosed to the court as per the indistinct, it is that the statement of Steyn actually says that there was a link between accused 3 and Kelly Khumalo. That is the information that I need, that it need not be disclosed to court, according to him. I just want to follow that statement. Then the court says, are you able to explain, sir? And then you yourself are saying, yes, my lord. What I can explain is that the statement that I saw, and if it needs be, we can get into it, and I can read it verbatim. There is the statement of Colonel Steyn links accused number 3 with Ms. Kelly Khumalo. That is the essence of it. As to how he puts these terms, that is the part that I do not want to misquote him. But what is clear is that there's a link with Ms. Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3. Do you now follow?
My lord,
I'm sorry, maybe I need to give you this for an interpretation.
I think it can help.
Yes. I'm sorry, madam. Let me just indicate where I started. Sorry? I just want to show where I started. I started line 20, and then I ended here, page 70, from 68 to page 7. Yeah, I started here, and then I ended up here. Yeah. As it is the court, madam.
Kuthiwa ke lana ke uthi ke ubaba uRamusipili ufakazi balomunye uadvocate inkantolo ke yasithi awumaume kancane khona into engayizwisisi la ubuze umbuzo kufanele ukuthi uphendule umbuzo mayelana nophenyo lwakho useyaphendula ke uGininda uthi yebo nkosi enkantolo emva kwaloko inkantolo yasithi yebo ilokho ukuthi wena wakhambisa kanjani ukuze inkantolo izozwisisa nayo ukuthi ubuchaza ukuthini awukazi ukungitshela ukuthi kukhona lokho ofuna ukuveza phambi kwenkantolo kodwa kukhona lo obunye ubufakazi ongafuna ukuveza phambi kwenkantolo manje kufanele ngenzeni ke ngaloko obunye ubufakazi bakho bakuGininda wasethi ngiyakuzwisisa kwesenkantolo kodwa ke kukhona ke ezinye izinto engingazithintanga kule umbiko le engutholile lokho kukhona lapha embikweni kaColonel Steyn statementini sakhe kukhona ke lapho ethi khona kukhona ukuxhumana phakathi kaKelly Khumalo nomsolo wesithathu usho ukuthi ke kafushane ke angazi ukuthi uColonel Steyn wayibeka kanjani kodwa ke wakwazi ukuthi abeke ukuthi kukhona ukuxhumana phakathi komsolo wesithathu noKhulukhumalo kusho ukuthi ke nanoma ke singamfaki lapho umsolo wesihlanu kuqhubeke lapho wathi ke asithi uqhubeka phambili wathi uxolo kukhuluma ubaba Ramsipidi la and then ubaba uMnisi wasethi ke hayi ke njengoba ithanda inkantolo uqhubekela phambili inkantolo yasiyabuza ukuthi uthini emva kwalokho ubaba uMnisi usethi ke cha angifuni ukuphikisa bengifuna nje ukuthi kube nencazelo ezwakalayo ukuthi ke kukhona ulwazi olwadluliswa ngifuna ukuzwisisa kona lokho ukuze uBrigadier Geninda lokakusho ukuthi kukhona ulwazi olunye oluqhubekela phambili olungafuzange livezwe enkantolo manje lapho kuyabonakala ukuthi akuchaza ukuthi kusho ngani kuthiwa ke maqhubekela phambili ithi ke ilesi statement sika Steyn esishoyo ukuthi kukhona ukuxhumana phakathi komsolo wesithathu noKhulukhumalo lolo ulwazi ufanele lulethwe la enkantolo njengoba ke yena ke echazile ngifuna ukulandelisisa kahle istatement ukuthi sisho ukuthini umnkosi enkantolo siyabuza ke ithi uyakwazi ukuchaza yini lokho Brigadier Geninda usiyaphendula uthi yebo nkosi enkantolo engingakuchaza nje ukuthi istatement leso ngasibona futhi ke uma kuukuthi kuyadingeka singayesotholakala lesi statement ngaphinde futhi ngisifunde kusho ukuthi ngisho istatement sika Colonel Steyn lapho ke sikhuma khona umsolo wesithathu noKhulukhumalo yikona ke nje ngifuna ukuchaza lokho and ukuthi ke wena wabeka kanjani lapha statement sakhe okunye kwaloko engakwazi ukuthi engafisa ukuthi ngingakubeki ngendlela ezophikisana nalendlela ayibeke ngayo yena kodwa ke okukhona ukuthi ke kukhona ukuxhumana phakathi kaKhulukhumalo nomsolo wesithathu. Is the court pleases?
My Lord, I think the record says exactly what I've been saying. It simply says that I've said there is a link, not a communication. I think where we seem to not to be finding each other with Advocate UMnisi is when he uses the term linkages. Communication instead of linkages. And I've explained this again, my Lord, yesterday, where I said, when we came to this exercise, it was arising from the questions that were coming from Mr. Ramsipili, where he was taking me through my statements. And when you go to the paragraph where I said there is a link between Ms. Khulukhumalo and accused 3 and 5, he then asked me specifically, what linkages are you talking about? Not communication, linkages. And it arises from all the way down, my Lord. So I've always said that it's linkages. And the exercise that we embarked upon on the statement of Colonel Steyn on page 41 proves exactly that, my Lord, because it says link between targets. Ms. Khulukhumalo is there, but then there are various people that are there, including accused number 3, my Lord.
Ebengizama ukuchaza kuyabonakala lapha kulesa lokusanda ukufundwa kahle ukuthi mina ngithe kukhona ukuxhumana angishongo ukuthi kukhona ukukhulumisana engikushelo ukuthi kukhona nje ukuxhumana kuyabonakala ngoba ngaso sonke isikhathi mina ngikhuluma ngokuxhumana kuyakubekeke sengathi kuthiwa bekukhona ukukhulumisana into nje ebengichaza eyokuxhumana kungekho ukukhulumisana.
Thank you. I think it was a question of semantics. Now that you have explained it, it comes out very clear that it's basically a huge difference between communication and a link. You're also mentioning that you were trying to explain that through the information that is contained on page 41 of Lieutenant Colonel Steyn. I would love us to go there. That is Exhibit 01.
Well, I don't have Exhibit 01, my Lord.
Okay, thank you. We are going to assist you with it. Don't worry.
Yes, my Lord.
Thank you. On page 41 on Exhibit 01.
Yes, okay, I have it in front of me, my Lord.
Yeah, to still remember that day as we were using that microscope, I even said that I'm unable to follow because the numbers here on this exhibit very small. Then I requested that it be built so that the accused can follow as well. I would also request the same indulgence, my Lord.
I recall, my Lord.
Thank you. there seems to be a technical glitch with the laptop. Apparently, it has frozen. He doesn't want to switch to on.